Welcome everybody to China Group Stage Day 2 for the TI4 Qualifiers, presented by Monster. I'm Godstream, is Basekip. How you doing, Basekip?
I'm doing pretty well. Feeling
Good.
better rested than yesterday. The qualifiers dragged on a little bit.
Yeah.
Yesterday we had that super long 2-hour plus game or whatever, and then that messed up the whole schedule.
The average match time was like 54 minutes or something after
Oh
like
my
9 or
lord.
10 games. We had some. It wasn't just one.
So that's like 10 minutes longer than both of the other qualifiers so far. That's pretty
I think by the
impressive.
end of the day it dropped a little bit because there were a few one-sided games. But in general, it was a very long day of long matches. We've got a absolute cracker of a first match here. Two of the best from China fighting out. We've got Speed Gaming versus CNB. Real talk, neither team's doing too well so far.
0-5 and 1-4.
Okay.
And Speed beat LGDC deck.
Okay.
It was actually 2-3, so LGDC deck
Not bad.
kind of
LGDC
slightly
deck
in
started 0-3, then
contention.
bounced back.
Yeah, they did. So
Okay. Believe in maybe, I guess.
Yeah.
Maybe he can do it.
maybe they have a chance.
Yeah. It's just too easy with a name like that.
Yeah.
It just rolls off the tongue. You
Okay.
can't even help it. But we'll
you
get
go.
ourselves into the draft here. It's going to be Speed Gaming versus CNB. Draft underway. First game of the day. This, as always, 4 streams going on. 4 streams going on, what am I saying? Across the NA Hub, twitch.tv/team/TI4NA for all your NA Hub action. But right here, we're on the second stream in the penthouse. We've got Speed Gaming versus CNB. Did either team stand out to you at all as having even though they both teams bottom 2, did either team impress you at all with their play?
I think CNB had some alright games yesterday. I think a lot of their problem was maybe draft related. So I think that's a really big thing for them, just not getting drafted into a corner. And I think that could just be a really important factor in this match, just because the level of play is that there's not a whole lot of team play going on, it seems, with some of these lower teams. So it's a lot of it does come down to the draft, and just as things stumble through, who wins out there.
Okay.
So we'll see.
But
But I think I favor CNB.
okay, I would give maybe myself. I'm biased because the first time I saw Speed Gaming, they really impressed me, and also when some of their play stood in for DK and have some good individual play. So I would personally ever so slightly say maybe Speed Gaming, but it's really hard to say. I mean, CNB actually no, sorry, it's Speed Gaming who have a win against LGDC deck. CNB though, they ended things off yesterday with a bit of a fun game. They picked Pudge against LGD China. I think realizing that, hey, we're 0-4, we're versing LGD. We're probably a bit screwed. Let's pick a Pudge. But, hey, maybe we get some fun picks here. Neither team really in the running, but at the same time, neither team wants to finish dead last.
No, yeah, and I think that's very true, that neither team is, even if they win out, either team here is unlikely to advance. And I mean, well, maybe if they win out, they can advance, but the problem is just winning out is so ridiculously difficult. I think especially since both of these teams still have some reasonably big matches coming
I
up.
have a schedule in front of me. Let's see. So Speed Gaming have to verse Tong Fu still. They also have to verse New Element. That's not too horrible. And they also verse HGT. Yeah.
Okay.
So they've already played DT
seconds
Club and
remaining.
LGD, which is probably the 2 worst. As for CNB, they're CNB is 0-5. At best, they can go 4-5, which to me is just not enough, anyways. But they have to verse Arenda, as well as CIS, as well as
LGDC deck.
LGDC. Okay, so maybe that's where they can actually get some LGDC decks. I mean, that's where Speed Gaming got their win. But LGDC deck, 2-3, they're actually in the running. So
yeah, LGDC deck beat CIS yesterday. That was
nice.
That was a pretty good game from them.
They lost to LGD China. I think they've had some of their slightly tougher matches. They still have to verse DT, which is their opening match over on the lounge stream. So
I mean, LGDC deck, that wasn't even a convincing win, I would say, or not as convincing as you would have expected from the LGD main squad. It was a reasonably long game, not really back and forth, but LGDC deck held on really nicely. So I don't know. I think you can count that as a positive for them.
Cool. I mean, I think that's for a lot of teams like this, like the qualifiers in general. It's not about winning in games. Well, obviously all teams want to win and get to Seattle, but it's a lot about just validating themselves as a team and getting some really good experience. I think that's where you look at some of these middle of the pack teams, be it Speed Gaming, LGDC deck, even a team like New Element. They're not really legitimately thinking, hey, we're going to get to Seattle and all that, but they're thinking, look, we can actually prove ourselves and move forward and become a better team come, well,
TI5?
Yeah, TI5 or 6 months from now.
10
They're planning ahead
seconds
for
remaining.
TI5, unlike TI9 champions who are holding out for TI9. So
5
I was like,
seconds
look, man, I saw the invites. I was like, we're at TI9 champions. They got round of 8 in the WVW.
That WVW tournament was a travesty.
Look,
Yeah.
Team Talent, top 4.
Yeah.
Where's Team Talent? They should be in this this China qualifier.
I do admire the WVW organizers for saying, "Look, we are randomly seeding our seeding our single elimination bracket, and randomly seeded it shall be." and
Something to say about that, yeah.
And they went with it. So
And we
There
don't
you go.
actually know for sure it was randomly seeded, but
we can
that's
only
like the only thing
we can only guess. Anyway, so drafts proceeded, I would say, kind of normally as far as the Chinese qualifiers being concerned. The Lifestealer pickup is maybe a little bit earlier than we've seen him otherwise, but CNB
Yep.
do manage to get the Storm Spirit through, so they've got a nice little vehicle for him.
10
More Wraith
seconds
King,
remaining.
more Mirana, more Ancient Apparition. We do see a Beastmaster,
5
which I
seconds
like here quite a
remaining.
bit. Always
Okay.
nice to have against the Lifestealer, but nothing else really
Reserve
too
time.
striking, I would say, as far as the draft is concerned. There is a Doom ban out from CNB, but makes a lot of sense in the context of the Lifestealer and the Storm Spirit picked up. So
Beastmaster's a cool hero. I like
Yeah.
getting to see him, and I think the Hawks is a very underrated skill as far as you kind of either you're playing from behind or ahead. Like it just allows you to maintain map control so well.
you can scout with the boar as well. I mean,
Yeah.
he's got just units on the map at all times, providing some semblance of vision, and it's actually kind of hard for the supports just to, if there's a boar wandering around, to just randomly kill it off. It's not an
Yeah,
illusion
it's-
that's going to take a couple of auto attacks.
And yeah, the Hawk's like a one shot kill, or maybe sometimes
Yeah.
2 right clicks at the very early game. But yeah, I definitely like Beastmaster where he stands. I think the one thing which I feel like the Quillbow is meant to be like it's a good slow and like killing thing in lane, but it doesn't really do that. Like the Quillbow is pretty
No.
unimpressive in general. Like,
I do like the build that some people go where
Radiant
it's
team pick.
less of a priority on wild axes and just make sure that you get the double boar up pretty quickly. So I think
Okay.
I've seen like 2 axe, 1 aura, and then max call the wild right
Yeah.
away. And it's actually pretty impressive as far as lane control and ganking is concerned, especially against a hero like Lifesteal. You put 2 boars on him and he just does absolutely nothing. And speed gaming, the only information that they really have so far from
10
CNB is
seconds remaining.
they've got a little bit of extra information out of the Storm Spirit pickup, but it looks like they're just
5
focusing
seconds
all of their hate
remaining.
on this
Yeah.
Lifestealer. We've got a Roar, and now we've got Viper Strike as well. So he's in for a
Reserve
pretty
time.
hard time, though. There's always a Storm Spirit to get him into the fights and hopefully blow up somebody right off the bat. So we could maybe just see the Beastmaster getting focused down every single time. Though, there's always the chance that the Hawk scouts out the Storm Spirit, you get the counter initiation, and away you go.
yeah, I think CNB have almost given away too much with the early Lifestealer Storm pick, because not often do you see teams pick up their carry and their mid in the first 3 picks. Like normally you leave your mid for like
Dire
4th or
team
5th, you
ban.
pick up your carry much later on. Unless you're getting those kind of like very flexible carries, like you get your
Yes.
Mirana or your Wraith King, which can go to support, they can go carry, they can go offensive trial lane. But I feel CNB have maybe revealed a bit too much. They get Eventual Spirit, so VSA Lifesteal, there is
10
potential for an
seconds
offensive trial lane,
remaining.
but most teams seem to just be preferring playing it safe.
5
as we've
seconds
seen so far in the
remaining.
Chinese qualifiers.
Yeah, for the most part, we've been seeing, I would say, primarily
Reserve
just
time.
defensive tri lanes. I think part of that is that also contributes to the longer average game length. Teams kind of play no
Radiant
rush
team
10
ban.
as far as the early game
Yeah.
is concerned.
Yeah,
It's
yeah.
okay, we're gonna farm our safe lane, you're gonna farm your safe lane. Nobody gank mid, and then you see where things go from there. I think that's the one thing I've criticized a lot of the support players for as well, as far as this qualifier is concerned. Just
10 seconds
there are
remaining.
opportunities to move around the map and apply pressure to a hero like Storm Spirit
5
or
seconds
a hero like
remaining.
Weaver in the early game, and it just never really ends up happening. So, and the early game is
Reserve
absolutely so
time.
pivotal in the current version. That little bit of extra momentum, a tier 1 tower, makes all of the difference, especially in games where the execution is really tight. But we'll
Dire
see.
team
CNB,
pick.
good roaming pair so far. I would like to see them put a little bit of pressure on. Same kind of story for speed gaming, depending on whether it's going to be support Wraith King and support Bottom or whatever combination thereof.
At this point, one has to be support, maybe both. But do you think it's going to be a Beastmaster offlane with the Viper pickup? Is that a mid Viper, or what are they planning on doing? Because I'm not a big fan of the offlane Beastmaster. I think he just doesn't do anything in the offlane.
especially Dire offlane
10
Beastmaster.
seconds remaining.
If people see Dire offlane Beastmaster, they're just going to immediately block the Ancient.
5
I feel like there's
seconds
very little chance
remaining.
that you get any value there. So it's a little bit tough. There are some cute things you can do.
10
You can
seconds
start with
remaining.
boots. You can run all the way down. You can cut down all of the
Radiant
trees
team
on the
pick.
western side of that safe lane
Yep.
with one single wild axis, and you can actually still make it back to the fountain in time to regen up before creep spawn. So that can be a nice way to give yourself a little bit of extra control over the lane. It's a tactic that Bat Riders will employ as well against a particularly tough Radiant defensive tri lane. But I guess the one other option for speed is maybe to go aggressive, and then you
seconds
can have
remaining.
Beastmaster and Viper as your two solos.
Yeah.
Probably like Beastmaster mid and
5 seconds
Viper solo
remaining.
safe.
I think with
but
the line pick, that ain't
probably not
happening.
going to happen.
Not
yeah.
against.
You want to roam with the line. There's just I
Reserve
don't think you want to
time.
be locking yourself into a tri-lane versus tri-lane where he's experience starved.
Yeah, and VS AA lifesteal, I think I would say almost straight up win that tri lane just because they can go on the line at any time and it's pretty much a guaranteed kill on him. Even I mean any of those heroes, lifesteal you can't kind of turn the gank around on a lifesteal when he's got rage. So I think it's a bit of a death trap, and that does put most likely Beastmaster into that offlane solo role, which is well, I guess you could do Mirana offlane. That's also occasionally, very occasionally done.
It's not honestly it's not bad. It's not that bad here, so long as you can dodge the magic missile. And okay,
That's an
CNB
interesting pick.
Undying pickup.
For the offline, are they gonna give lifesteal the 1v1 match? Maybe they're offensive tri lane. They say lifesteal can 1v1 your Beastmaster. Let's put Undying Venge AA tri lane.
Yeah, definitely could be. And Speed Gaming's defensive tri lane, it's alright, but with the line it is a little bit greedy and pretty level dependent as well. Like that's the other thing with Mirana support is you've got you get level 2, you have arrow and leap, and past that, well, you're leveling up arrow a little bit. It does get better, but it's only really damage-wise.
It's like you've got to hit that arrow if you want to be able to fight tri-lane versus tri-lane. I mean, you've got to set from a Wraithfire Blast, but even then, your Undying gets an early point in the Soul Rip. Normally you go like a 1-1 build into max Tombstone, and then that heal can just
10
save whoever gets arrows live. So
Yeah.
I think even if you're hitting arrows, maybe you probably
5
don't want to fight
seconds
into the chilling
remaining.
touch damage as well.
Yeah, the other thing CNB could do is just sort of keep the, keep 3 solo lanes. Start off with the, that Ancient Apparition, Venge, hiding over in the trees. They pop out, you get your first blood, you roam over towards mid, you get another kill, and you just run back and forth between the lanes, causing havoc. A lot of that does depend, of course, on how Speed Gaming call the lanes and where they're going to ward initially. But if it does end up being CNB being pretty aggressive, which I think you do have to with the Undying pickup, the hero just doesn't scale that well into the late game. If you're picking the Undying, you're hopefully getting him his core levels, maybe getting a fast mech up on him or a fast Vanguard, something like that, and then just 5-manning the game out using his teamfight strength to its max potential.
Yeah. I think in general their late game's pretty weak, considering there's so many good lifesteal counters. You've got Beastmaster as well as the Viper Strike, and even just having like a hero like Wraithking on the front lines with Reincarnation, giving his team the lifesteal to play around with as well means the late game for CNB is pretty unimpressive. The line Beastmaster will also give him good lockdown to deal with the Storm Spirit. So yeah, CNB, it's the early to mid game where they want to dominate as much as possible. So Speed Gaming, do they try and swap up their lanes at all because of the potential offensive tri lane, or do they just try and just avoid getting killed?
Well, they don't even really have a very good 3v1 hero. So
yeah, I mean,
that's,
you could
that's
like
the unfortunate thing for them.
safe lane a Mirana maybe, but even that's a bit suspect.
And then what happens to the poor Beastmaster?
Yeah.
Or
well, that's true. Yeah, Mirana's a support. I guess Wraithking, JDH is. I'm trying to think who normally plays what on this team. It's been too long since I cast them, but let's get some info. JDH is the support, so this will be a support Wraithking and
so
a
it is
farming
going to
Mirana.
be going to be core Mirana. I guess that's kind of an option. The question is exactly where the Wraith King and the Lion go then. I mean, I guess they could just go for maybe an attempted counter gank. So if they think it's going to be aggressive from CNB, they could just dodge down towards the bottom lane, put some pressure on the Lifestealer. But the Lifestealer, I think, does a lot better in the 3v1 than the Mirana does. He can just head over to... He can run some pulls, he can get level 2, he can start jungling. Meanwhile, the Mirana can maybe run some pulls, but she's just a lot more...
And it's like you have a tri-lane Viper. It's like you don't want your Viper in a tri-lane, really. So I think you need to keep the Mirana tri-lane together, which is probably best done in the top lane, unless you're trying to... Unless you are fully confident that maybe Viper can match up against the tri-lane, but that's just not really the case. He'll feed. He won't stay alive against this VSAA tri-lane.
There's a ton of damage in that tri-lane for CNB.
Well, we got a bit of pause coming out. Looks like one of the players just needs a quick restroom break. Start of the day. players getting ready. These two, I think these two teams. I mean, it's pretty cool that for these teams they get to be like brought into a hotel just to play the TI qualifiers, even if they are going to be maybe going bottom 2.
Your picture is up on the wall. To my understanding, that
Yeah.
picture was all of the players in that qualifier. They're all.
Yes, as far as I know.
They're all. That's pretty cool. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Well, assuming that it's a good picture, and people are pointing at, and your teammates aren't pointing at it and like, man, you took a really bad picture, and now it's now it's 6 foot tall and up on the wall.
It's something, hey, you can show your friends, show your family, be like, look at this. I was playing on a big. Well, I guess you don't get to play on the big stage until the playoffs. But
Digital sports.
yeah. It'll be cool when we get to the playoffs. I think they're actually gonna have like a proper show and stuff, so we can get that brought onto the mainstream here and there.
And then there's also the tournament that's being run immediately afterwards with 4 of your Tier 1 Chinese teams and the number 1 and number 2 of the qualifier as well. So not only are these teams playing to be able to play in TI, but there's also that nice little event.
It's not a big. It's not a It's like a 25K prize pool. US.
I think it's a really nice initiative.
Oh yeah, it's a 2-day event, so in that sense, it's pretty fantastic. Like there are teams already out of the hotel, and on Maz TV are broadcasting the TI qualifiers, and like, hey, look, we'll do an extra side event as well. We got all the qualifiers teams here. Let's bring in the big guns. So Beastmaster boots first, rushes down, plants down an observer ward to get things going here. He'll actually see the Storm Spirit as well as the Undying. Undying's the safe lane solo. This is different, unusual. I like the roast check.
Yeah, maybe
Beastmaster in the game, you do that.
What is up with that decay? The Remnant was already down. They can see inside, and the Undying is like, I'm just going to confirm that.
30
decay.
seconds to battle.
By the time creep waves meet, he'll have full mana. Like that's it was questionable. Well, it was questionable, but he just wanted to.
Just for funsies.
You know, just practicing his decay throwing skills.
Yeah, it's like, how does this animation play out again? Okay, I got it.
He was trying to do the animation cancel spam and just failed. But yeah,
that's always embarrassing, especially on someone like Brewmaster. You're like, oh, I wasted mana. We lost, guys.
The battle begins.
Alrighty, so Storm Spirit can be 1v1 against the Viper mid lane. And it looks like the support's going to get a double damage ring to start things off. That's scary, but
boy.
Speed Gaming scouted out, so that's the important thing here. They scout out the supports. They also realize it's going to be an offensive tri lane. And Lion's just chilling here, basically saying, if you guys try and smoke gank mid, I'll reveal you from the high ground.
Why are they giving it to the Vengeful Spirit? I guess she has boots?
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, so that's the big difference here.
Instead of the AA, you think?
Yeah, she's got 200 less range and 4 less base damage. So but yeah, I guess the boots does make the difference.
You'll get the extra right clicks. I don't see this getting a kill regardless, because Speed Gaming have a ward.
Yeah.
Smack dab on top of it. So VS is keep on camping. Now picks it up.
Yeah, should have probably picked that up a tiny bit earlier, but oh well. Oh, nice little D-ward coming out from Speed Gaming to start things off, so a bit more control gained over their tri-lane. The pull is not blocked, and...
They're not stacking it either, which is... I think you need to either pull that right away or go for the block, because the lane is pushed up really far. MY's actually in some trouble here. Gets the disjoint off on the Magic Missile, importantly. Otherwise, that could have been his demise. But nicely played. That's a VS Precious Mana being used. Sure, you've got one Clarity there, but... every stun counts when you're in an offensive tri lane.
Yeah, and the Lion actually tried to go over and stack this medium camp, but he failed. So that's a little bit unfortunate. I don't even know who he's necessarily stacking it for. I agree with you wholeheartedly that he probably should have just tried to stack the pull, ascertain whether or not there's actually a second ward that's being placed maybe by CNB between 30 seconds and a minute. Since they don't actually have an observer ward to see where the supports are moving across. And normally having your pull open is a huge advantage for the defensive tri-lane, because you can start getting those levels up and just grind out a win as far as the tri-lane versus tri-lane is concerned, but they're actually just letting CNB run the side pull. So
well, this is not you see this and you think, oh great, CNB is pulling back the wave, denying some creeps, but they have to abandon the pull because they're going to, like, if VS stays killing that camp there, she dies. So this is actually just going to be gold for the Wraith King, assuming he can last hit it.
Yeah, it's gold, but CNB supports can also just head down into the river.
Actually, they're going to contest this. They run right in. They realize what Wraith King wants to do, and I think the last hit gets missed there by the Vengeful Spirit, but not the end of the world. Arrow!
Bit optimistic.
There was no follow-up from that. Lion's like, I'm pulling, guys. Don't do anything crazy.
Guys, what are you doing?
It's one of those things, like I know from my pub games, like I'm supporting my safe lane farmer and I go for a pull and then my carry, like the carry dies to like a jewel line or something. It's like, dude, where were you? Why aren't you helping me? I'm like, I'm pulling. Like, I'm pulling. He's like, oh, you need to help me. And speaking of help, help me with my camera controls. Regen gets picked up.
Get it together.
Viper gets regen. Yeah, end of the story. keep an eye on what your supports are doing when you're a carry. Like, just because they're meant to be supporting you, they're not always going to be in lane. Top lane, Sun comes out. No arrow to follow. Actually, AA body block on that one. AA may take a fall, gets hexed up. The counter kill coming on JDH here. Looks like we may see a 1-for-1 trade, but the AA goes down first. First blood's already been claimed. Nice 2-hero impale coming out from the line, but I think MY just needs to get the hell out of here. Finding this Vengeful Spirit lifestealer not really in the cards right now. Yeah, they'll get back to base. Ooh, nice magic missile dodge, and with this, Dogfight's in trouble. There's a Wraith Blast on cooldown. 5 more seconds, but there's going to be a chase here. Vengeful Spirit says, I'll take one for the team, but the arrow hits Dogfight. He's going to go down. Possibly one more. There's your Wraith Blast with a slow on top of that one. Down goes Vengeful Spirit. Offensive trial lane just straight up lost. Nope, no, Vengeful Spirit lives. Just kidding. It's early. I'm not sure what's going on just yet, basically.
It's fine. So okay, so CNB lost that fight pretty handily, I would say. Just nicely played by the Mirana, held on to the leap until the very end. Did end up sinking a second point into the leap, so I think maybe they were in the level up menu as they went to cast it. Yeah, so that I think that's probably not intentional from the Mirana, but they live. They get some more levels out as far as their trialing is concerned, and I think also notably they get the Wraith King, or they get the Lion and the Wraith King in and involved in those kills as well.
Yes.
So things looking all right for them.
Well, all about that 16 bonus attack speed from level 2 leap, man. Value point. That second value point. Speed gaming gonna
5 less mana.
Yeah, 5 less mana. I don't mind the level 2 leap scaling, but I mean obviously right now you don't want it. He's gonna take the magic missile, saves his leap. Actually, with Chilling Touch coming out, he's gonna get the hell out of there. Doesn't want to take any extra damage. Lion's abandoned ship on top lane for now, deciding maybe he can find another kill in this mid lane with Viper already winning the lane, getting first blood. Where the hell's Storm's? He's got a haste rune, I guess. That's why he's abandoned the lane.
Yeah, Storm's just kind of chilling out. I think he knows that the line is missing, so he's just like, screw it, I'm gonna go jungle. Things are not going that well for me as far as the lane is concerned. I just want my 6, and then I'll be a lot safer. So.
CNB try and contest the pull, but it's already a bit too late here. They're actually going behind the tower. MY though, level 2 leap will keep him pretty safe. Wraith King in good position as well, nice and far back, and Moran's actually just going to start harassing the Vengeful Spirit. Says, look, I got my tower here, you've lost your creep wave. You can't actually fight us under this tier 1 tower. Let's talk bottom lane. What's happened? Undying versus Beastmaster. What? Undying's not even winning this lane. Not that he should be winning this lane.
Yeah, I don't think it should be a win, honestly. And the Beastmaster is going for that early max Call the Wild, which I really like, especially melee versus melee like this. The free boar harassment is just huge.
What does Undying give your team? Like, why would you put him solo against the Beastmaster?
I don't know.
We say
honestly, I think lanes ended up very weird for CNB. I kind of wonder if they went for the pick, and then they decided, oh, hey, wait, maybe we should... Maybe aggressive trialing with the Undying is not what we actually want to be doing here, and then they had to put him somewhere.
Okay. Well, we'll see. Speed Gaming now rotate towards mid lane. They have got Raw up as well as a Hawk going.
Why are both Hawks here? It's very
I think he's just resummoned one. There's a Hex, there's going to be a Raw to follow this one. And AKK, he's level 6, but he's not getting out of this one.
Radiant's middle tower.
Low there, loading. Get the kill there. ZYP gets... Oh, he goes down to the tower, plus a Wave of Terror.
That minus armor. I think the minus armor was the difference between that last tower attack killing him or not. So nicely played by 5400, but they just still end up losing the Storm Spirit. He is level 6, but that's not going to save him from the chain stun. And he wasn't necessarily playing all that conservatively at mid. I think he maybe could have been positioned a little bit further west, though I'm not sure if it would have made the difference.
A bit of a unexpected rotation with the Beastmaster coming from bottom. But
well, where did the Beastmaster go? he was bottom, and then he wasn't. It was
jungling, killing, stacking ancients maybe, who knows. But yeah, it's definitely something you should be more concerned about. There's double boars up now, just the level 3 boars, so hasn't got the greater boar just yet. Imagine he's getting that at level 7. You get 3 points in it, you're definitely expecting it at that 4th point at level 7.
Yeah,
the poison,
2 boar is too strong.
Do the poisons do not stack, correct? Or do they?
I feel like the move speed slow stacks, and the move speed slow is part of the poison, so maybe the poison stacks.
Okay.
I'm not sure if the damage... Oh, there's not even any damage, it's just attack slow.
Yeah.
So
the movement speed slow does stack.
I think so, yeah.
That's kind of cool. He gets 2 up.
Let's find out.
Nah, I think it's just a
okay,
single
maybe
proc.
not.
Yeah.
Maybe not.
Because it's just like a single debuff on you, I guess.
Yeah, it looks like that's the case. And it's
pretty annoying.
Tooltip's not changing. Yeah, the boar damage is pretty annoying here.
He heals himself. He's actually going to start man-fighting some boars. Good old Beastmaster. In true American spirit has the Great American Beastmaster set. It's a pretty cool Beastmaster set. I really like it.
I don't know. I think the first Beastmaster set is just by far the best. The red Talon one. The one with the hood.
Oh yeah, yeah,
That's awesome.
Yeah, that one actually is cool.
It's amazing.
It's very different theme to this. It's cool how you can have like 2 sets be completely different themes for the same hero.
We're gonna go out onto the Undying. A little bit of stun stacking going on. Probably not gonna matter. They've got the lockdown, and down it'll go. So Speed Gaming, things looking pretty good. 5 and 2. Meanwhile, top lane, they look at the Mirana, but looking is all that they can really do at the moment.
Yeah, Mirana says, "I'll throw an arrow at you," but it doesn't hit. I don't think even if the arrow hits, you want to be going in. It's a bit of a. Unless you have a death wish there. There are 3 heroes there. Storm, meanwhile, once his top rune, nothing spawning just yet. 8 minutes in, and the rune going to spawn. Bottom going to be an illusion rune. 8KK is. He's struggling mid. He's got 32 CS, which is decent, but 0-2. And just doesn't really seem to be sure of what he can do this game. Like, he doesn't know if he should be rotating, if he should be ganking, trying to just win this lane. He's really just in a weird place right now.
Looking for the Mirana. Right click.
Uses the leap, but stun not in range here, but the Wraith King going to be the one getting stunned up instead. Arrow gonna completely miss. You've got to hit that arrow to keep the Wraith King alive there. Even if it, I think if it hits, maybe depending who you hit, but that should have been an easy arrow.
Yeah, I mean, open wounds wasn't going to be up for 4 or 5 seconds, so that might have been enough for the Wraith King to survive.
End of the day, not the end of the world. They're going to get a T1 mid. T1 mid tower is more important than a support kill at this point.
Radiant's middle tower
This is a really interesting game. There's not really any greed on either side. Lots of early to mid game team fight. The Storm Spirit is having a pretty hard time of things right now, and the solo lanes for Speed Gaming actually both went fantastic. The Beastmaster's got good CS, Viper has amazing CS, and he got that first blood. So I think he's actually got his mech completed, and CNB, they're not really combat ready yet. We'll see if the Undying team fight power is going to be
They're not ready for this lifesteal again. Well, nice smoke from ZRD and Zip. Get a kill on the lifesteal. So easily done for them. They're making some of these ganks look easy. First mid lane, they gank the Storm, although Lion does die there. That one maybe not so easy, but that fight top lane, just through the mid, get the kill. Yeah. Viper, meanwhile, he's chasing. He's like got 2 heroes so damn low. They're not going to be able to stop the TP. Vengeful Spirit, Magic Missile not there in time. He almost gets the VS as well as the Storm.
I like that he just TP top. It's like, okay, yep, push is on, guys. Yeah, I forced some TPs. I'm gonna make space for my own push.
He's so massive.
Yeah, he's huge.
Mech Aquila treads. Oh my gosh.
This is just a very scary time, especially as far as the Viper scaling is concerned. You got max corrosive, almost max nether toxin. Tombstone's gonna get dropped, but I don't think this is gonna do anything. Speed Gaming
so
is
far
just gonna back
too.
out.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's just nothing that forces the fight. Maybe if they had, you know, a Storm zip in with the Infest Bomb. Yeah, then the Undying can saunter up and throw down the Tombstone, but this Tombstone's gonna do nothing.
They're still sieging the tower even with the Tombstone. It was also, it should have been planted like right by the tower. I think it was a really poorly positioned Tombstone, but you can't start a fight with a Tombstone. Tombstone's like the second step. Like step 1 is initiate, step 2 is plant the Tombstone.
Yeah, definitely. So they lose the tower, but they still bring everybody there. Now the Tombstone is on cooldown for still another 20 seconds. And CNB are just kind of 5-manning a little bit. Nobody is getting any of the farm bought. The Storm Spirit stood around top lane for a bit, but didn't really accomplish anything there either. He's going to duck into the jungle to try and secure some more farm, but this is going to be a really slow Orchid.
Undying doesn't look like he's figured this one out. Moonlight should have been used. Set up a kill here, and... Oh, that's a... I don't know about that. Yeah, that's safe. Mirana reveals the gank with a casual right click, but they get the kill anyway. Use a Viper Strike as well as a Roar. Bit of an overcommitment. I think just a Lion Hex alone would have been enough, but...
Yeah, there isn't even a TP on the Undying. I think they could have just Viper Struck, Wraithfire Blasted, and then just ran him down. It's not like there's even a counter-initiating support on CNB.
One stun alone would have been enough. Either, Wraithfire Blast or a Lion Impale. Like, they didn't need to use either of it. Now they don't have Viper Strike or Roar for this push. It's not going to matter. I mean, we're kind of talking about things which aren't...
We're being picky here, guys.
Look, if they wanted to defend the mid-tier 1 tower, it would have mattered. Because they're going to get a tier 2 for a tier 1, which...
If you want to beat LGD, those are the things that matter as well.
I think those are efficiency things, because they could have theoretically defended the mid lane maybe there. I guess they wanted to get the tier 2 top, but at this point, a tier 1 mid is almost worth the same amount as a tier 2 in the off lane.
Oh yeah, CNB desperately want that gold. I think they're more than happy to take that trade.
Yeah. I think I would prefer Speed Gaming defend that tower there rather than even get the tier 2 top just to keep on starving their opponents. But they're going to continue to be aggressive. They smoke up, want to keep on fighting, want to keep on going. We talked about CNB. Their late game not very good, and their early game has really struggled as well. Like, is there a good comeback plan for CNB, or is this just not going well for them at all?
The weird thing is that they've got ganking in the Storm and the Lifestealer, but the Undying just doesn't really do a heck of a lot. And
Line just comes up, Finger Storm.
Tell them I
Very well.
sent you.
Very well indeed. That was That was sad. I like looked away for a second because like, okay, they're about to gank. I'll turn around, but Lion just straight up uses Finger of Death. And here we go. Lifestealer has Rage. We'll pop it fairly early. No Impale gonna land in. Looks like they won't get any kills off this Ice Blast. Completely airball. Tier 1 tower, probably, I guess Storm's respawning in 5 seconds. At some point, CNB have to make a stand. So maybe they decide it's going to come soon. Oh, God, he made dodging that arrow look difficult.
Yeah.
I was, like, he tried to walk into it, then he tried to walk out of it, then back in. I'm like, whoa, dude, it's simple. You just, you sidestep it.
You walk perpendicular, yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway, okay, so for CNB, I'm not sure what they can do at this point, honestly. I don't think a team fight is a win for them. I think they have to start off with a pick-off and then go from there.
Arrow misses here, but Speed Gaming don't seem to care. They're going to roll SDN here. No Tombstone could be bad for them. They get a stop off. Will he get the tomb off? Yes, he does. With the Tombstone, this could be a bad fight for Speed Gaming. They've lost the Viper, and that's the Viper who had the mech, so this is the kind of fight that Speed Gaming do not want to be taking, but there's little detection here. ZYP gets out of range of the Sentry Ward. Wraithfire Blast goes down the Stormster. Buyback from your Viper here. ZYP's got an Impale in just a second here. He's going to get a throw, and it just gets the Vengeful Spirit. Vengeful Spirit now in some trouble. Throws a Magic Missile onto the Mirana here. VS and Stormster both low. They're going to lose the Ancient Separation. VS as well, and even with the bad start finding under the Tombstone, it still goes fantastic for Speed Gaming. This Lifestealer, he's trapped in a creep, and he's got very, very little HP. Can't rage TP, not with that low HP.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
Let's see which creep. The tower's going to hit it last because it's further away. This creep is just going to stay alive.
He got lucky.
Yeah. Are fortified.
They're going for the auto deny. Now they're going to try. Oh, they mech up the creep. Seems like, dude, we're trying to get this Lifestealer out. You can't mech the creep wave.
What are you doing, buddy?
Yeah. I wonder how long they camp this.
Well, I think they can just keep on pushing.
Yeah.
So I guess they're just that's that, right?
Like Lifestealer can't just pop out when his team respawn and fight because he's got no HP. So.
Yeah. Also, if he waits too much longer, there's a roar in a few seconds. So.
Oh god.
Oh man.
This is going to get ugly here. We've got
Storm. If he waits long enough, maybe Infest will come back off cooldown and he can pop out and then pop into something else.
No Wraithfire Blast being thrown just yet. They've got Reincarnation here, and there we go. Lifestealer pops out. He wants to fight. I don't know about that decision here. Ice Blast going to go through. Hits the Viper as well as Wraith King. Wraith King's got Reincarnation. There's your 75% slow, which is just going to spell doom and demise for CNB here. Tombstone deployed. I think maybe they just want to try and focus it down. Viper's going to work on that one with the Mirana. And with the Tomb. Wraith King getting low. He's going to go down there, but now they can just keep on fighting. Stormwind is even from afar, but they're already pretty much all full HP. Is there a Hexes and Impale and 8KK going to go down? Viper's still alive, getting fairly low here, but that's just the Vengeful Spirit. He doesn't care about no Vengeful Spirit. He's tanking the tower hits. There we go. Dodges the aggro off him. Finger of Death. Kills the Lifestealer. 16 kills to 6. So Speed Gaming. This is more what I expected from Speed Gaming. Like, when I saw they were 1-4, I was honestly a bit surprised because I thought they were a bit of a... Not so much a team who will finish top 4, but definitely a dark horse who can cause an upset and have some close games. But this is a pretty decent performance from them, but I think more than anything, CNB just unsure what to do with their
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
CNB, the Storm Spirit, he rolled into that fight. He spent literally every bit of mana he had on that initial zip, and then he just died. That was pretty miserable from him, honestly. And this Viper is just huge. Speed Gaming, they're 5-manning, they got the mech, they got the Aghanim Scepter complete. And CNB just can't win a team fight. And if they can't win a team fight, well, they can't utilize the pick-off power of the Lifestealer and the Storm Spirit at all. So, just because of how badly the lanes went, really. I mean, I wouldn't even call it... The Tri-Lane versus Tri-Lane wasn't a win. Viper clearly won mid. And Beastmaster won out bottom lane. Even though CS was relatively even, the Beastmaster's impact was just way more. He got his level 6, he immediately got like 2 or 3 kills out of that. Meanwhile, the Undying tried to participate in some fights, but we just haven't felt any impact from him at all. They had an okay Tombstone bottom lane, but Speed Gaming just ran away from it with Invis, and there you go.
The Undying pick, if you're gonna like lane it like this, I just think is like, why are you picking Undying? Like get something which you get guaranteed impact from, like be it a Clockwork or whatever it may be. Like you just need a hero that can do a lot more, have guaranteed teamfight impact / killing potential. And
or could have just been a better laner.
Yeah. I put Lifestealer's like the obvious choice against a Beast. I don't think he actually does as well as he does against other melee offlaners like Centaur or whatever, but I think Lifestealer has a slight edge in that matchup.
Yeah, I think a lot of it comes down to just... Yeah, once the Lifestealer gets his phase boots up, say, then the Beastmaster is in a lot
Especially if you get the Orb of Venom as well along the way. Like, you don't often get Orb of Venom on Lifesteal, but when you're in those 1v1 versus melee hero matchups, I think you go for it. Tower 9 not going to succeed, and that's more money going into the hands of Speed Gaming. And they're almost ready to push high ground. They've got Necrobook, they've got Aegis. Aegis on the Viper, so this guy's tanky as all hell and has an Aegis on top of that.
All 5 are mid. Storm Spirit, why are you not off on a lane, hitting some creeps, or in the enemy jungle, or just somewhere that's safe? You can see everybody on Speed Gaming are mid right now. There is no chance that you are getting ganked if you're not here, and you can all, it's 2 seconds to TP in. So I really don't know what AKK is accomplishing here. I really think he should be just off farming, maybe finishing the Orchid. Maybe that gives them a little bit of a better chance as far as these fights are concerned, but right now I think him being here is a bit of a waste of time. They load up the Infest Bomb, but...
What? You're going to Viper with Aegis? That's not smart. Sure, you're going to kill him once, but you're going to pay the price for this one. Viper goes down, but they lose the Lifestealer just to blow an Aegis here. Beastmaster will be the second to fall, actually, so not a terrible outcome, but once Viper's back, Viper Strike gets thrown. SDN gets swapped out to save his life here. Where's his actual tombstone? I think it's already been blown up and with that, yeah. This fight's over. Viper going to just try and chase down the AA. Says, oh, I can't chase you down, but I can get your Raxes in. With that, Speed Gaming, less than 20 minutes in, first Rax of the game is gone. GG. One-sided affair, and Speed Gaming, I think, well, I think CNB rightfully just tap out. There was no coming back at this point.
Well, this is what happens when you go for an aggressive trialing, and your aggressive trialing execution isn't good enough. It wasn't. I just don't think the lanes are particularly well thought out from CNB, and I think a lot of that contributed to just how fast things fell apart. You had 3 underleveled heroes that just couldn't really do a whole lot.
Yeah, I mean, offensive trial didn't work. I think even looking at like the Storm, like he did nothing this game. He ends the game with 0-4, 3 assists, I guess, just from some of those team fights. But he could have rotated once he hit 6, but he just straight up lost his lane. We didn't see the first blood, typical Aussie caster fashion. But it was a bad affair.
Yeah, that was
I don't know.
That was not that pretty.
Undying did very little. It was just weird all over the place. So with that, Speed Gaming, they get their second win, so they're still in it if they can win out. Like I think if you end the day 5-4, you're maybe tied for 4th place.
Yeah, and with that, CNB hopes pretty much dashed 0-6.
Oh yeah,
I feel like that's close. That's close to mathematical elimination, probably. I would guess. I mean, it depends on how everything else looks.
Unless you get like a 7-way tie for 4th place where everyone's like 3 wins, 6 losses or something, which is
probably not going to happen.
Yeah.
So that's probably it for CNB. They still have CIS and LGD CDEC to play. Meanwhile, Speed, just to quickly recap, where they have to play Tongfu, they have to play New Element, and they have to play HET. So actually some pretty tricky matches coming up for them. We'll see how that goes. But that wraps it up.
Hey, look, Speed Gaming's a fun team to watch regardless. So even if they don't advance, I'm happy to see them get themselves a couple more wins. But we've got more games going on. The mainstreams. I'm not actually sure what's on the mainstream right now. I am. Yeah, I am. What am I talking about?
You got the schedule. Come on.
Got the schedule. Sunsfan and Syndra are casting over on BTS1. We've got LGD versus CIS and LGD versus HGT. That's a couple big matches. HGT versus LGD. LGD have yet to get a loss, but they haven't versus DT or HGT.
If HGT can win that one, then they might be able to nudge out DT Club for number 2.
HGT have 2 losses. They're actually like...
Well,
I mean, I'm not surprised. I honestly, I think a lot of us predict like DT Club, LGD top 2, and HGT are kind of shaky, although they should be number 3.
Where HGT, which team got Level and Roshan by New Element?
That was DT Club.
Okay, that was DT Club.
Yeah, that's DT Club's loss. Like, they got cheesed, whereas HGT, I think, just got CT wide. Like, that's
fair enough.
Syndra came out and was just like, what the fuck was CTY doing? Like, after one of the games. Like, apparently CTY is just...
Apparently his laning mechanics are spectacular. Like, he wins lane, but then it's what he does with it in his decision making during the mid game, which is the problem. But yeah, definitely some important matches there. Couch Stream has LGD CDEC versus DT. We can actually check what matches are still ongoing, I guess, so we know.
I imagine ours is one of the first ones to end.
I would... Yeah, okay, so all 3 of the other matches are currently underway. So guys, check that out. It's beyondthesummit.tv is the multi-Twitch.
No, it's not multi-Twitch. It just gives you all the streams to browse through. You can.
Awesome.
Most people can't handle multi-Twitch, unfortunately.
Too much bandwidth.
Too much. Yeah. As an Australian, I know that feeling too well.
Yeah, everybody knows that.
Coming up here, we've got AC and Fogged, who they're going to be casting LGD CDEC versus Blank. I didn't fill in the rest of the schedule there. There's a Blank LGD CDEC versus someone.
Here, I'll figure it out for you, God. I think it is LGD CDEC versus CNB.
We get some more CNB Dota.
Some more CNB action.
Yeah, this is the CNB stream today, apparently.
See if they can put together a slightly better draft, maybe some more cohesive lanes, and then just Well, I don't know. I think that should actually be a pretty interesting one to watch. Neither team necessarily in contention as far as top 4 is concerned, but still a couple of rounds left. Anything could happen aside from CNB.
Yeah, yeah, exactly. But this is I think both of our only game casted today. I might be casting some tiebreakers later on.
I think I have one other.
We'll make an appearance.
Oh,
No.
Yeah, we're gonna pop in.
We're gonna
and say hi to
analysts.
AC and Merlini, and we're gonna be analysts, and I'll be controlling the camera. But
okay.
Pretty light day for us, unless there's tiebreakers on.
Yeah, tiebreakers. This is one of the few qualifiers where I think we may actually not get tiebreakers.
I think just looking at it and just gut instinct, I feel like the only way that we would get ties is for 4th place.
Yeah.
I don't think we're gonna end up with ties for 3rd. And so, maybe there's a tie for 4th.
Unless HET like bomb out, which they could lose to LGD, then they have, I guess, mostly easy matchups.
Also, if one of these middle teams, CAS, NE, Tongfu, if either of them go on a really hot streak in their remaining 3 matches, then that would probably lock out. No chance of tiebreakers.
It looks like a couple games just ended. They disappeared in front of my eyes. So Tongfu versus HET, one of the bigger ones there. HET need a win. Tongfu, if they get a win, they suddenly got like 4-3. So yeah,
not bad.
But guys, that does it. I'm Gods. He's Spaceskip. We've got plenty more Dota 2 action coming away from the Chinese TI4 qualifiers presented by Monster. Stick around.